India and gold is a relationship. You know? Because
It's not that you don't want to invest in gold. You want to think of alternatives as well. When you take a financial decision based on emotion, those are 9 out of 10.
oh my God.
They'd never heard of a mutual fund. If you get the woman in a community responsible for the finances, automatically the benefits accrue not just to her, but they accrue to the entire community. If you were doing this for fun and pleasure, don't do it.
You know, I've normally seen people do boardrooms, conferences.
Yep.
What made you decide on this drive?
It started with a conversation I had with our women employees on Women's Day in 2023, and just asking them about kind of how do they think about investing, etc. And most of them were like, well, our husband does it, father does it, brother does it. Said, why don't you do it? So like, well, I have no interest. You know, this is in Mumbai, right? The financial capital of the country, in a mutual fund company, and our own employees are saying, well, they're not really. That's where it started. And now your point about, boardrooms versus the drive. If you want to truly make a change, you have to get women on board. And if you want to make a true change in the country, you have to get rural women on board, right? Because we've seen enough microfinance studies, right? And they all point to what? If you get the woman in a community responsible for the finances, automatically the benefits accrue not just to her, but they accrue to the entire community.
No, it's that famous line, right? I mean, you educate a woman, you educate a village.
Exactly. If we're having this kind of approach in urban, then in the rural markets, it's going to be a whole host of different issues and even more. And that's where you need it, right?
Absolutely.
And I think that, so for us, it was more around, I mean, at least for me in particular, it was like, okay, where can we have the most impact and where's the most need? And that's what drove the entire thing.
When was the first time you realized that there is this big Bharat versus India? I mean, we don't realize it. I mean, I travel a lot because of work, and when I'm there, sometimes it really strikes me saying, wow, we're such a diverse nation.
Yeah.
So when did it first hit you, saying, wow?
I think it hits you the minute you hit the first town. For me, it was more around, right, the kind of questions, right? It was the way they approached certain things. And what was most surprising also was that it's not that they lacked confidence, they lacked conviction. Confidence is what? My confidence is that, okay, I'm fairly comfortable speaking with you, right? So there's a little bit of that comfort factor that needs to happen. That builds your confidence. Conviction is that when I'm making a decision, it is a targeted, it is a designed, it is not happenstance. It isn't just, okay, well, ho gaya. It's not like that. It's actually, and it's purposeful. So that I found was remarkable.
You're so right. I mean, this whole thing about conviction.
Yeah.
And there are so many people who run these little micro economies. I think in one of the cities where you were, there were people making gajras. Right?
Yes. Yeah. Actually, in the South, jasmine is a very...
Oh, yes.
I mean, it's an amazing flower itself, right? And you can't go to any temple without having it, especially in the South, right?
Yeah.
So what we found was that every market had these massive bunches of these jasmine flowers. And you kind of, as we moved up north, we noticed that the massive bunches became slightly less massive bunches. And you move further up north and became like, okay, let's put a gap in between two flowers. There's a question of abundance in certain parts, and then there's a question of pricing. Most of the women don't realize this in the South because they're surrounded by it. So for them, putting like 50 flowers on a 6-inch string is, okay, that's normal. You take that 1,000 kilometers north, and they're like, what the hell are you doing?
No, and by flower changes after a while, right? I mean, I think you would have seen everything change in that manner. There's also this propensity of, people investing in gold, right? I mean, India and gold is a relationship. Were you able to show them that there were alternate means or methods as well? And what does it take? I mean, tell me a story of.
So I think you brought up, I mean, you used a real key word, which is alternate means.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because gold it's not an investment for us. It's a cultural kind of, I mean, it's a massive thing. I mean, and it doesn't matter whether you believe in kind of the value of gold, or you say that there is, I mean, you're not looking at it as an inflation hedge, etc. Forget all the financial jargon and the rationale around it. It's more a trusted value, right? It's a store of value. It's not something that I intend to use in my lifetime. I intend to pass it on. So I don't think we ever said, and I don't believe that either, that, you shouldn't invest in gold. Yeah, by all means, you should, right? If that's what you want to do, you should do it, but do it consciously. It's the same thing, right? It's, if I've got 100% of my portfolio in gold, right? Well, I don't think that's the right thing anyway. Just like I would say, if you've got 100% of your portfolio in equities, that's not the right thing. You want to be diversified across different asset classes.
When you tell them about a mutual fund and you say that, hey, this is possibly an alternate means of investment, and you were saying that, hey, you don't need to put everything into equity, etc. I mean, you need to have a diversified portfolio.
Correct.
How did you get the idea of diversification to them?
One thing that was very clear that I found was that you have to be able to have a conversation in their language. In the sense that, not literal language, but making sure that they understand and appreciate what from their practical life, right? So if I come and tell you about asset allocation and all that stuff, it's going to be a waste of time. So what does a farmer do when you think about it, right? Any farmer is actually doing diversification. They don't even realize it, and till I thought about it, I didn't realize it. Now, what do I mean by that? You have seasons for different crops.
Diversification.
So
Crop
you're
rotation.
doing crop rotation.
Oh, how fantastic.
Now, so it was a
And
conversation.
they must have got that, right? I mean,
Completely. So they said, okay, well, so they were like, couple of them said, well, we do it for different reasons. So I said, of course, diversification is for different reasons. You're doing it why? Well, this is the best time of the year to grow this. Also, when you grow a different crop, it enriches the soil in a different manner, which makes it ready
so true.
for the next crop.
So true.
So I said, that's exactly what your different asset classes do.
Amazing.
I will tell you that there was not a single IAP that we left where people were not convinced that they needed to start doing something.
So what is that? The lack of awareness?
Correct. So what does that tell you? That is exactly right. It's not that I don't want to do it. It's not that I don't understand it. It's just that I don't know about it.
Were there some other kind of audiences? Tell me because really we don't even know who all you met.
Okay, so the whole gamut that we went across was farmers, fisherwomen. We met students, teachers. We met the armed forces, the Jawans. We went and met police forces. So we met like different kinds of students also. We did a nursing college, we did lawyers.
If I was to ask you saying that, give me two fundamentals that everybody should sort of just know.
It would be that, listen, you need to, one is you must do it.
Correct.
It's an absolute, and you'll be surprised at the number of people that don't do it, right? So one is you have to do it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts around it. And I think the other misperception people have is that I need a decent amount of money to start investing. I need to get a corpus. You don't need. You need to get started and build a corpus.
You can do something
as small as, right? Small as 500.
500. Oh, 500.
500,000 rupees you can start. So we actually even have something called a 100 rupee daily SIP, which was created for the vendors because they can't do a monthly SIP. So they're like, okay, a month is 30 days, is very far. I'm living day to day. But if I've got an extra $100, $200 that I've earned today that I can put in, I don't have an avenue to do that.
And the power of compounding, that famous story about that chess pod, right? I mean, which never goes out of my mind. Saying that, the king saying that, okay, what do you want? And he says, a grain of rice for everything, but you double it every time. And he was laughing, saying, oh, you want just so little. But that is the true power of compounding that people don't realize.
Absolutely. And I think that's human nature.
Correct.
We undervalue the long term,
absolutely.
and we overvalue the short term. I mean, the biggest challenge with any investments is our behavior. It is our behavior that separates a good investor from a bad investor, and returns wise, right? And what do I mean by that, right? So when you start to panic, when you start to have an emotional reaction to a financial decision, or you take a financial decision based on emotion, those are 9 out of 10 wrong. Finance decisions should never be taken with emotions in. So SIP is the perfect tool, right? There is no emotion. Every month,
It's just happening.
1,000 rupees go out.
Consistency.
What happens is, when you let emotions come in, you then go and what would you do? You stop your SIP.
Correct. True.
You reduce it. You do this. You do that. You muck around that because it's emotions that are playing havoc. So my thing to investors or young investors is to say, start early, stay invested. And most importantly, and this is for all investors actually, is to say that, you want to actually start with what your goal is. Right? So when you think about that was one of the things we found in the drive, right? I was expecting a variety of different goals. Women have different, and women are actually incredible at being goal-oriented, which is what makes them phenomenal investors.
Absolutely.
Right? There's actual scientific evidence and studies that have proven that women investors are better than men.
If you ever had to write a book about this drive, what would you call it? And what would be a quote on it?
I think Change the Soch is so incredible
Fabulous.
because
We can
it
go
was,
with that.
yeah.
It's like-
Also because I think it is universal. It is not that we were trying to change women's thinking. We're actually trying to change men's thinking. You want to change that thinking, and thinking doesn't change overnight, right? It's going to take time, and it's going to take sometimes it takes generations.
No, but that's fantastic. Avi, thank you so much. Thanks for driving me around. I've never had a better, and I can't even say co-passenger, but the co-driver. I'm just your co-passenger. But thank you for letting me know about your thought and everything in terms of what happened on this fabulous journey. I wish you many more.
Thank you very much. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thank you.
And I
Time
hope...
for an espresso.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.